Hey guys, April the 19th here in central Illinois. It's overcast, a little bit rainy. Going to get a lot colder next week. But we're just up here today just goofing off. Not good enough weather to work out in the yard, so we thought we'd play a little bit of trains. Run some passenger units, something I don't do very often. But I thought I'd start off with this little O gauge. These are 252 electrics. Basically, they're nothing more than a souped up 250. They made an electric before these that was called a 250. And these date from about the late 20s up to 1932, I think was the last time that they made them. And I picked the orange and terracotta up out of a junk box. I've always liked this color combination. It came in orange and it came in terracotta and maroon, and of course it came in orange and terracotta. Now the passenger cars are terracotta with the maroon frames, so it would have been nice had I been able to have grabbed a hold of a 252 in the same color scheme to pull the cars with, but I thought this was close enough for government work, so that's what I did. And we're double heading it today with a green 252. Not that you got to have two of these locomotives to pull these three cars, but it is kind of fun to watch them go down the track. The other thing I've got here is a Williams 381. Now Williams brought this 381 out in the 70s, and basically it was a static piece. It had a dummy motor in it, but it was made just like Lionel made it, and you could slip in a super motor or a Build-A-Motor. And I've got a McCoy in this thing, and it does a real good job. As most of you know, this was the original state set, but the single motor just wasn't big enough to pull those state cars. And behind it, I got an early set of what I call the 400 series passenger cars. Now, these are two-wheel trucks. After 1925, they had the same cars, but they went with the six-wheel trucks. I rather like these, and I've often wondered what it would be like if you were to take a set that wasn't in very good shape and you could match the color with the 318. Proportionally, they're just fine. They mix well with the Williams. And it's a good running little outfit. I'm really pleased with it, and I really like the way that these earlier passenger cars look. I'm a fan of these big 10 series trucks. In fact, I use them in a lot of stuff. Sometimes I convert them to power units, but it's a nice little set. Here on the inside track, we've got the 384 and what was called a baby state set. This came with just two cars, a no baggage car. It also came with a set of cars, I believe that they were maroon and wine. I had a chance to buy that set over this set, and I thought the baby state set sounded more posh, and I wish I would have bought the other cars because it's a much prettier set. But this is still, it's still a nice little set to run. And I'd like to know why so many of these have got the doggone latches gone off of them. The latch is missing on that. The latch is missing on some of the locomotives over there. How do they get those latches off? It must have been some demonic kid that wanted to change it up so he could pull something else with it, because I find a lot of that on some of this equipment. The other thing that I'm running up here on the elevated is the American Flyer, the Zephyr, the Burlington, and this is their Sandcast model. They made two of them. This is the smaller of the two. The other one, I think they call it the Whale, because the lead car, the power car, the cabin stuff is much bigger. This one, like most of them, it had a die-cast stack on the top, and it swelled up and turned to dust. That's how it was when I got it. So we'll do a little running here. They perform well, or they were performing well, so we'll see how well this goes down, shall we? I think we'll start with the elevated first so I can get it regulated. Any of you that ever went to the Museum of Science and Industry in Chicago they've got a Burlington Zephyr up there. They've now brought it inside. It used to sit outside with the German U-boat 505, but even the U-boat now has got its own sub pin in out of the weather, which is a rather unique display. If you ever get a chance to go up there to see it, do so. Also, the New York Central's 999 is there, a magnificent steam locomotive. If I were Bill Gates, I'd buy it and restore it so we could run it on the railway. But I'm not Bill Gates. And there's the old 381. She does a nice job pulling those 400 series cars. I think it really looks good behind it. It's nice when everything runs like it's supposed to. Even nicer when you don't get hit in the head because you're not paying attention. Well, I'd like to believe that this is Happy Families getting ready to go home for Thanksgiving, since it's right around the corner. All right, guys. That was a successful run with no fatalities. I like that. All right, let's call it a day. Well, what is today? Today's Wednesday, isn't it? This is hump day. All right, well, you guys have a good middle of the week. Hopefully where the weather, wherever you're living, the weather isn't too bad. And if I don't talk to you before Thanksgiving, why, have a safe and wonderful Thanksgiving and enjoy all the turkey you can. We'll talk with you later. Toodaloo.